Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a ranked gearing replay for you, going over the matchmaking, the threats to my ship, the enemy Stalingrad, and all the destroyers, the gearing Z-52, the Shimakaze. Um, this is going to be a really rough game on North, and pulling this game because it's got a lot of, I think almost every kind of different smoke that I can lay as a destroyer with different ways to work from the smoke, so it's a really good smoke tutorial game. So basically the game's going to start out. I am the westernmost destroyer. I'm going to push over to ACAP. I'm going to try to push out to the flank, secure it, and try to do what I can to provide vision and damage the enemy team. Looking at the minimap, I don't really have that much in the way of support. I got a Kerfist that's sort of pushing this way, but I don't think he's going to be that big of an influence if I run into a fight or something up here. Typically, Kerfers are not the best thing to shoot at destroyers and things like that. So all of that I'm trying to calculate into how aggressive I'm going to try to push and engage the enemy and go from there. So right now I'm taking note. I would expect with 3 DDs in the match that I would be getting a destroyer on BCAP by now. So I'm starting to suspect that either they've got a ship that's AFK or they've got issues where the destroyers aren't doing what they should, and that could potentially be something that I can exploit. So I'm gonna try to dip up here, and what I'm looking to do is see if I can, number one, get some vision on these guys, so as these battleships push into the cap, my team can reset them, and maybe number two, get torpedoes on them. So just kind of lay kind of a long range fans pattern of torpedoes running right through the edge of cap, and I'm gonna try to push around um, this island back here and see what I can do to actually spot the enemy. So right out of the gate we lose our Hindenburg. Um, really not sure why there's a Hindenburg in front of that island, let alone, I mean, why a hydro cruiser is getting wrecked by torpedoes like that right out of the gate. Rank things. So, kind of, well, the minimap tells us the story that all their DDs are on CCAP, and that means it's pretty open sailing out here for me with their Stalingrad out in the east. This is giving me, prime opportunity to go to work on these battleships out here. So I'm trying to make a judgment call as to what I want to go after. And I really would prefer to shoot at this Republic, but I'm seeing that this Kurfürst is going to turn in, and what I'm trying to do is set up a volley of torpedoes that are, it basically pops up on this guy's screen once he starts conducting this turn in. I'm dropping the second set late, thinking that the only thing he's really going to be able to do is slow up. So this is the set of torps that I'm looking to hit the guy with. Unfortunately, he sees the torpedoes early enough, and he just turns right out. And I'm expecting my battleship to basically make him pay, slam him for exposing broadside like that. That's the catch-22 that, you know, DDs and battleships should be doing, working together. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So instead, I'm going to smoke up here. And you see I'm waiting actually for the smoke to cover me before I shoot. I'm just going to go with a simple smoke screen that I'm going to work in front of. Now, Kurfürst, I know he's running Hydro right now. So I don't want to risk this guy getting too close to me. So gonna pull this smoke screen a little wider. And I'm watching this cruiser here because he can spot me right now if I shoot. I'm going to tuck back into the backside of the island. I know I've got the Holland spotting for me, and I'm looking for this cruiser to disappear so I can start opening up on the Kurfürst. There he goes. And now I'm going to turn this smoke into a smoke curtain right here. Now, I should be angling a little more in this smoke. I'm going to take a little bit of damage to some blind fire just because I'm showing them a mostly broadside shot profile right here. And it makes me a little bit easier to hit. But the effect that the smoke's having is basically what I wanted. All these guys basically ran right into my smoke screen, and they're just like, no, we don't want any part of this. And they're all turning around and starting to push away from the 2-3 line. I'm going to throw some Make-A-Wish torpedoes out here. Try to cut down that angle of bearing. Throw some out here if something's trying to kite out this way. And basically now just dodge Yoshino torps. I do think that in hindsight I could have shot a few times here and maybe got a couple volleys off while I'm dodging these torpedoes. But it's early in the game and matchmaking's telling me that, or the mini-map is telling me that I don't think that this is the it's not as critical for me to be farming every little bit of damage that I can right now. Now, I do see a huge misplay getting unfolding right here, and that's these two battleships pushing south of the island. They're basically pushing into a giant crossfire between these guys and these guys, and now they're going to have nowhere to go. So we've lost these two ships already. And that's really where this game starts to come unwound. This next engagement, I'm just sneaking up on this Republic, and I'm just going to ambush this guy with my guns. I'm waiting the last couple seconds for my smoke to be available, and going to try to go to town on him as fast as I can. If you look, I'm not staying still in my smoke. I'm pulling forward, trying to drag this smoke out a little bit. Make it a little bigger just in case something turns back. I've got something to work from. Throwing some torps out there again, predicting that this guy's going to turn to try to kite back, trying to block this area off to the enemy team. If they try to push up to rush my battleships, if this Republic tries to kite out, these torpedoes will catch him. And in the meantime, I'm just pretty much going ham on this guy with my HE. I believe I've got 2 fires on him. Now there's the second fire right there. He did repair 1 fire, so really looking to try to punish him right now. And with the 2 fires ticking, I'm just trying to keep my shots on the superstructure as much as possible, just to maximize the alpha damage on the HE volleys. But he'll be going down right here, and I'm already pushing and moving now. I should be a little faster on popping my engine boost. I'm weighing if this Kremlin can actually tank by this island, because with that Republic gone, he's no longer being crossfired, and a Kremlin can tank a lot bow on. but I know that most likely he's going to be dying eventually, and it's definitely we've got some issues. Other issues that hasn't helped us are Haragumo. This is the second time that he's crashed, and he's currently AFK in the middle of CCAP. My Holland, for whatever reason, halfway through the game, decides he wants to come around the 3 line. He's gotten no torpedoes off on any of these guys all this game. Instead of just shifting back, to the 5-6 line, where he could have been throwing torpedoes at these battleships that are rushing the Ohio and the Kremlin, he could have really done a lot of devastating damage in there, but it just didn't happen. So my team's, you know, they're not quite falling apart, but we're in a pickle. And Stalingrad's pushing up. I know that we're going to lose this. Haragumo, if he doesn't wake up soon, he's just going to get radared and smoked. And I'm pushing out at this angle. I'm trying to line up some torpedoes right through here. It looks like everything's pushing C right now, and I'm basically just I want to cap B cap, and I want to be prepared to defend B as the enemy team tries to swing around and push this. Um, I'm not happy with my team's position. The Holland's still useless. The Kurfürst is pushing alone towards C, and you know I'm predicting these ships are going to push through. So this Kurfürst would be in a 2v1, and these two are going to turn around and push B cap, and kind of put me in a bind where I'm going to need to deal with a 2-on-1 if my Holland's not able to do anything. So Holland's coming back up to A cap. So he's basically just made one big giant loop. And that's something you can't do as a DD player. You have to try to stay on top of your positioning all game. You don't want to take these big huge loops where he probably 5 or 6 different torpedo spreads he could have launched. Now this is critical. He just gets massacred, dev struck by Yoshino torps, which that yeah, that's the game in the bag right there. That gave them the amount of points they needed. That I'm not gonna be able to kill my way into winning this game, but I'm gonna try. So I've got Yoshino and Kurfürst. The Kurfürst does have the hydro. Yoshino might have hydro available. Um, the good news is both ships are large, relatively clumsy, and ships that torpedoes can be a major threat. So I want you to look at this torpedo spread I'm setting up, and this is textbook torpedo positioning. I know that their objective, they want to get on B cap as quickly as possible. So I've got their course where they're looking to set up. These guys have really no clue where I'm at, other than I'm somewhere inside their concealment circle. Um, they were all shooting at my Kurfürst because why you would push into 2-on-1 when you have points, I don't know, but that just sums up this game. Now I want you to take a look at how close I'm hugging these ships. The Yoshino in particular, he's going to be my torpedo target. Um, because I don't think that I can dev strike the Kurfürst by giving him the advance notice with the Yoshino spotting the torps early. So I'm going to go for the Yoshino first. Um, and he's only going to take, probably 3 torpedoes to kill. Um, so I'm going to lay this a little bit wider. I'm not going to stack this as tight as if the Yoshino was full health, but I am slightly ahead of my targets, and I am very much on their broadside. This is where you want to be when you're launching torpedoes. Now watch, I'm waiting. I don't even want to launch outside of 7 kilometers. I'm trying to get inside 7 kilometers to absolutely minimize the amount of time that it takes for my torpedoes to arrive on target. I'm launching one right at the indicator because I'm predicting these guys are basically sailing flat out trying to get into B cap as soon as possible. I aim the second one about half forward to see if I can clip a piece of the Kurfürst with that second set of torps. And that's looking beautiful. Now look here. I'm checking. I see that the Yoshino's dead. You're going to see me turn in here. I'm not wasting any time. The Yoshino's dead. He's not going to be able to spot me. I'm already moving on to the Kurfürst because time is of the essence. The enemy team will be in ACAB very shortly, and it's, you know, I can't wait around and dilly-dally. So here, I got torpedo hits, I got the flood, the Kurfürst has repaired the flood, I'm waiting for the damage control to be off cooldown, and now I'm going to open it up. Now, I'm going to lay this smoke, and I'm looking to actually use this as a hide smoke, where I hop in and out of smoke, but he's shot, so, hey, I can spot him for 20 seconds, just based off him shooting. I've already got one fire on him. Just gonna keep working on him. Actually, I think I got two fires on him. But as soon as he goes dark, I'm not gonna wait around. You know, I know his hydro is gonna be up soon. I've got torpedoes coming soon. So I'm just gonna pop out of this smoke, and I'm just gonna paint him out with these torpedoes, one on either side of his ship, just kind of overlapping where he's going. He's trying to rush my smoke just to get me off the board. Now this is bait. I'm just trying to get this guy to turn out to shoot me. I do take a little bit of damage there, but I've got a lot of HP to work with right now. And he does end up eating a torpedo, and that puts him down for my arsonist. And at this stage of the game, I realize that I still need one more kill. I spot the Stalingrad. That's exactly what I didn't want to see there. And I've only got one option. That would be if this Stalingrad continues down this channel, I'm able to stay bow in, stay narrow, where if I get radared, the Stalingrad can't really damage me. Dump torpedoes and disappear on this side of the island. It's looking good right now, but you see him slam on the brakes right there. And that's big trouble for me because now I've got to do a really risky turn to try to get my torpedoes off on this guy. And at any point, if I get radared, I'm hosed. So, if you notice, I'm trying to stay as narrow as possible, trying to close that distance as much as possible. And it's just like, you know what, I'm going to have to risk this. Because if he backs up more, I'm really not going to get a torpedo shot at this guy. Because this ledge will be in the way. So, and just the worst timing possible, as soon as I open up to launch torpedoes, I of course get radared, and I take a big hit, and I do get lit on fire by secondaries, and I gotta say, this guy had some secondaries going on here. Um, I am playing narrow here, but I mean, these secondaries are doing quite a bit of damage to me, and that second fire was just what I didn't need, and unfortunately not able to get away with it. And that was the end of this game. So while I report half the team, uh, you know, these games happen in ranked. It's uh, it's one of those things that you can't really get frustrated by this, because if these types of things frustrate you, you let them get to you, and you're not long for this game because it'll eat you alive. Um, so you just gotta move on with it. Did do a pretty good amount of damage. Um, Nuked a couple different ships, and I think did a pretty good solid job with a gearing, just removing larger ships from the map. Unfortunately, no destroyer damage, that kind of thing. Um, but I mean, you get what you get in a game. So Anyway, gonna cut this video off right now before I talk all night. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.